What's up, y'all? It's Taylor Hart here from Respect My Region, and you're watching episode 42 of Blunt Talk. We were just talking, it was episode 9 the last time that Peaceful Pinder was on the show, and so it's been quite a while. I'm trying to think, that must have been March then? Because I started at the top of the year, so that must have been the beginning of March that you were on the last time, and you weren't even here. You were in fucking Nashville. So here we are, running it back on a wonderful Saturday night. It's been a really long, eventful day for me, but it was like the perfect fall day today. It was like nice and like crisp outside. It was sunny though, and then like when the sun would hide behind the clouds, it would get really fucking cold, and the breeze off of the water was really fucking cold. But it was like a really great fall day, especially because just a few weeks ago it was still like 70 plus degrees and hot and dry and gross out. So I really enjoyed it today for sure. So yeah.
It's cold again.
Yeah, we're there. It's no longer nice weather. It's no longer kick it outside all day, every day. It's definitely, like I was saying this too before we came on, it's like I'm starting to creep into hibernation mode right now. And so I'm starting to definitely reach that point where I just want to be like inside and I don't want to be doing anything outside anymore because it's too damn cold. So here we are. Yeah, blunts of the week this week though. We got two. We got two different ones because I couldn't make a decision and they both sounded really tasty, so I bought both of them. In this corner, we have the Sweetwater's Huckleberry Pie. It's a blueberry cherry pie cross, so it should be pretty flavorful, nice and terpy. It definitely had like a blueberry nose to it when I was rolling it up. It was a little dry, but sometimes a drier bud is better for a blunt because it just burns nicer sometimes. So, and then in this corner, we have 50 Folds Tropic Soda. I really wish there were like nugs in here left over so I could show you, but I rolled it all up into the blunts. So it's two empty jars that I'm really pointing at right now. But the Tropic Soda is a cherry lime soda double Dutch soda cross. There is a tiny little nug left in there. Not big enough to see it though. So, anywho, I love 50 Fold. They have like really hit and miss batches sometimes on their stuff. So I don't always love every strain, but I'm also like really super fucking particular about what I smoke. I just smoke a lot and I have really easy access to it. So I can be
Weed
picky.
snob.
And I am fully, like, I will admit it, I am a weed snob. 100%. I have passed on somebody's joint at a event at a party because I didn't want to smoke their weed because I didn't know what it was, where they bought it, what kind of quality it was. Now that I have the option to buy what I want, I buy what I want. So I'm a picky bitch. It is what it
As
is.
you should be.
Yeah. Yeah. Did we talk about what you usually smoke last time you were on? I don't even remember. It's been that long.
Yeah, I don't know. I tend to smoke like gelato OG cookie strains, but like indica hybrids mainly is the vibe that but it's all about like the terpenes matter a lot, like,
Yeah.
In terms of like the type of experience you're going to have.
100%.
Over the years, like I'm looking for more just like a calm, sedated, like body high with like a little bit of the mental than I am like just trying to be in my head.
Yeah.
I think like it's just enough of a head case as it is. So.
That's so funny. I took a dab earlier and it hit me in the body a little heavier than I wanted to. And I was like, damn, I'm really tired of just always having a body high. Like, what happened to a good old classic head high? Like, I love a good head high because I don't need help. Like, nowadays, I don't need help in the body anymore. Like, I used to use a lot of like more indica flower to help because I had a lot of like gastrointestinal issues and shit like that. And then now I have like my diet's like at ease now. So like I don't have to compensate for it. And so now I'm like, where the fuck is my head high? And now the whole market is like full of nothing but indica hybrids.
That's one thing I'll be talking to, like, the day ones when we used to pick up like street weed and stuff. It's like, what happened to Blue Dream's still around, but like Jack the Ripper, even like a good like White Widow is hard to find. Like,
I haven't seen White Widow in forever.
There's like what was that? Strawberry cough was great.
Oh, we have a great strawberry cough on our shelf at
you
work.
do?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I smoke strawberry cough pretty frequently still because Super Bomb, shout out Puffin Farms, they got a great strawberry cough. It's super, super tasty. So yeah, I definitely dig that. I like the sweeter weeds, but I like piney, earthy kind of stuff as well. Like if it smells and tastes like moss, I'm cool with it.
It's like, yeah, no, I feel that for sure. I think that's kind of like what I'm attracted to with the plant is like,
yeah.
it is so natural, and I don't want some like the runts wave and like all this stuff is cool, but it's like some of that stuff is just OD, like
Yeah.
whatever it may be. And I like a sweet bud too, but
Yeah.
some earthy. I drink herbal tea with no sugar or anything. People are like, you're freaking weird. I don't know, kind of like
It's not weird.
it's not terrible. It's
Yeah.
it's good.
I like it as long as it's nice and strong.
Yeah.
People be serving me weak ass tea sometimes, and I'm like, don't pull the tea bag out yet. Literally, I drink chai tea every day, all day. I don't drink coffee anymore, too acidic, so I switched to tea only. And I drink chai tea every fucking day, and I brew it for 20 minutes before I take the bag out.
That's a deep steep, ladies and gentlemen. Good God.
Yes, but it is so good. Let me make you a cup of tea and you will see that it is so fucking good when you steep it that long. I'm about it though. And I also like a lot of caffeine. So there's that. It's a fine balance though, because if you steep it too long, then it does start to get pretty bad. But I don't know, black tea is a lot more forgiving than like green tea is.
That's
or
very
any
true.
like herbals or anything like that. Those ones are not as forgiving. But black tea, I feel like I can pour it in water that's super fucking hot and steep it for like 20 minutes and it's fine. It almost tastes better that way to me. So
I agree with you. I don't have that patience. But yeah, that's definitely true. It's definitely true.
It's definitely hard some mornings waiting for it to brew that long, and some mornings I don't wait for it to brew that long. Some mornings I brew a small cup with just one tea bag that's brewed hella fast just to get me started.
You're like, I need a warm drink now. It's that cold, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it really is.
Like
well, and sometimes it's like, so I get up on days that I'm going to work, right? I usually wake up around 1:30 in the afternoon, right? And so I make just a small cup of coffee a cup of chai.
Habits,
old habits. I was literally a barista for years, and I drank so much coffee. It was ridiculous. I'm still heavily in love with coffee. I just can't, it's too hard on my stomach now. So, yeah. I brew a cup of chai before I head out to go to work as well. So usually it's a small cup for me just while I'm getting ready. And then I make a to-go cup for when I'm leaving, kind of a thing. So that one gets brewed for a really long time, sometimes 30 minutes. Shit, sometimes when I'm at work, I'll forget I even started brewing tea, and my coworkers can attest to this. I will come back like an hour later and be like, oh my God, I never finished making my tea. And it's been brewing, and it's literally sometimes, depending on what cup I have it in, it'll be cold. And I'm like, yeah, it's been steeping for a long, long, long time.
Have you seen those cups that like stay warm and keep your drinks warm? You gotta try this.
I have one.
This is actually really
I have one in my locker at work.
Huckleberry Pie. Yeah, that's how you know it's good. Huckleberry Pie.
That Tropic Soda is really good too.
I wish you guys could have seen the nugs for the Tropic Soda because they were damn beautiful.
I fucked up and I didn't take a picture of them, but they were like really light, and I don't see a lot of like light weed anymore. It's all usually like darker colors, or like people are really into purple weed. It cracks me up every time a customer comes in. They're like, you got anything super purple? No, not really. I'm like, it's nothing special about the weed, right? They're just making it really cold in there usually to turn it purple. But anyways, that's a whole nother topic. But yeah, it was really light and had really like light orangish yellowish hairs to it. It was great.
Yeah, it was just a beautiful nug.
This Huckleberry Pie is really fucking good. I think I like it better than that Tropic Soda. But I like that Tropic Soda. But this is really like sweet and smooth and you can tell that it's just like a happy kind of high because it's almost like smoking candy.
That's what I'm like. So that's what the sweet weeds. It's like if it's gonna be sweet, it's gotta be like that, where it's like sweet,
Sweet like
it's
candy.
smooth, it's.
Yeah.
So, I want candy.
Oh yeah, rest in fucking peace, Aaron Carter. Who saw that coming?
I'm glad you caught that.
Yeah, I sure did, because honestly, like, I saw that and a part of me, like, I went back into my childhood because, like, Aaron Carter was like a huge part of my childhood. And so sadly, I sad to say that in my opinion, but
Hey now.
don't even bring up Smash Mouth now, because Smash Mouth
Hey
was
now.
also a huge part of my childhood. So
I'm not gonna judge the middle teen version of me. Okay.
I put together.
You leave him alone.
I put together a childhood essential playlist for me, and it's actually fire. Like, there's nothing like, I don't know. I'm not like embarrassed by what I used to listen to, but you know,
If you're not embarrassed, like, were you really finding yourself? Were you really a teenager?
I mean, I definitely left like the Avril Lavigne and the Hillary Duff and shit off of there,
Did
I
you mess
did
with
listen
Pink?
to it. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, definitely.
Okay,
One of Pink's albums is on my childhood essentials.
She was.
So I can run through it. I don't know if I can remember all of it off top, but so my childhood essential playlist, it's on Spotify. You can find it on Spotify. T's Childhood Essentials.
Ow.
Number one, Nelly's Country Grammar is like quintessential to my youth.
Banger.
Okay, it came out in like 2000, 2001-ish or whatever. I was like 6 years old when that shit dropped, right? And my dad brought it home and I listened to it all the goddamn time.
It was number one for me, that track on there.
Oh my God.
Like, I am number one. I don't know why. I was like looking back
because it was
like,
a banger.
Damn.
Like that whole like I literally have the record sitting
Band-Aid.
back here. Like I am obsessed with that album. Ludacris's Chicken and Beer was another one for me that was like super quintessential. Miseducation was another one that my mom played all the time, and she didn't even realize she played it all the time, but she played it all the fucking time. And it would always be associated with cleaning for me, because she would listen to it while she would clean the house and while I would be pretending to still be asleep, so I didn't have to do any chores.
Snitching on herself.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm older now and I live by myself. I haven't lived with my mom in like a decade plus. So, you know, what else is on there? Let me see. There was Pink. You brought up Pink. One of her first albums, Misunderstood, is on my childhood essentials, as well as No Doubt's Rock Steady. That album was banging. What else is on there? I'm trying to think off the top of my head. It's kind of hard. Oh, Bowling for Soup's A Hangover You Don't Deserve. I went and saw them at the Crocodile, and it was fucking fire. Such a great show. They're incredible live. If you didn't listen to Bowling for Soup and you were in middle school in like 2005, 6, 7, those kind of years, fuck you. You listen to Bowling for Soup. Don't lie to the world. You listen to them. 1985 was the worst joint that they had, though. So, and I know you listened to that. That shit's still annoying to this day. So
calling us out.
Well, you know, it happens. At work, we'd like to play like some of the best of 2000s, best of 2001 or whatever playlists at work, and sometimes the ones that people react to, it's like, really? Is this the one for you? It's like a little bit of judgment, but also like, we all fucked with those songs, and it's like nobody wants to admit that we listened to Nickelback, but we did. You know, there's a lot of that, but yeah, there's a lot of great albums that I listened to back in the day that I was like super fucking obsessed with. And looking back on it, it really set the foundation for what my tastes are now, as well as like the quality level, because my dad's always been a musician my whole life, and so he always like pointed out certain things or like made me pay attention to the credits on different records and stuff. And so I feel like that foundation that I got from, and my mom's obsessed with music too, and so having both of their like kind of upbringings, and my mom was like full-blown 80s, like everything 80s and surrounding stuff too, but yeah, having those two different like kind of looks onto it, because my mom listened to a lot of like the mainstream pop shit, my dad very much so underground metal, like punk rock type shit, right? And so there was a drastic difference, and it was kind of nice to build that foundation for me. So now I listen to a little bit of everything though, so but what were some of your childhood like essential albums?
Like hip hop wise, I grew up like on like Wu Tang, Nas. I mean, like essential albums.
What's
Like
your favorite Wu-Tang album?
that's tough. That's tough.
It was a tough one.
I'm gonna go. Okay, well, I'm also really gonna snitch on myself. I'm high. I'm gonna get the stream of thought out. I also listen to a shit ton of country music growing up. So I wasn't just influenced by hip hop. I was influenced by like country, rock and roll. So I listened to like a lot of Guns N' Roses,
Yep.
like AC/DC. Like country music was like Toby Keith,
Yeah.
like George Strait, and so like I was just was thinking about how you were made into like the music fan that you are, and like
Yeah.
where your foundation comes from, and that's something that's like kind of hard for me to process and like be real with. But I think like even in middle school, like Green Day, Linkin Park was like my vibe more than the hip hop stuff. Um, it was like the times when I was around my dad, I wasn't around him that much, but I wanted to like listen to whatever he was listening to. You know what I mean? Yeah. And he actually listened to like a lot of DMX and stuff too. Now that I think about it.
Hell yeah.
I think actually my all time favorite, as I'm thinking about this now, is the Games documentary. That was the biggest.
Really?
That was actually the biggest influence on, and it's like true like West Coast hip hop, which is kind of weird because I have like an East Coast sound, and I fuck with the East Coast stuff, like to my core. But yeah, the Games documentary was like, because 50 Cent had his run too, like right around that time.
Yeah.
Because you're talking like 2001, you know, 2005, like that type of time frame.
Yeah, I was born in 94, so those years were like the years where I was like still young enough to be like developing and learning and still kind of like finding what I'm interested in stuff, but also through those years of like middle school and into early high school where I'm like really starting to like identify with certain things. And like that was also, I was listening to so much Bay Area rap during those years too that it's like,
did you fuck with Mac Dre?
I fucked with Mac Dre so heavy. To this day,
this dance in like middle school is
like, to this day, like if you bring up any songs that I listened to in that particular time era, like I will remember all the lyrics to it. I will still be able to like sing along to the entire fucking song or whatever it is. Like I can tell you exactly where I was when I listened to that the most. Like it taps into that kind of nostalgia. I was just talking to my mom about this because she's the same way as I am with that, is that it like connects myself to those memories because, you know, that's how powerful fucking music is that it puts you back in those time frames.
Do you remember like the first time that a song gave you that like super nostalgic feeling? For me, it was R. Kelly's "Step in the Name of Love," and it like took me. That's so. Boom! That song's fire though.
Yeah.
Step, but that song, like, it was super weird. I was in the car, and that's the song that my dad would play, and it was like the smell. I was like, yeah, like what the whole like how everything felt like. It was like I was back in that moment and like transported in time, and I was like, that's so strange. And then every time I heard that song, you know, I kind of had that like core memory unlocked, and it's so weird how music does that. It's such a beautiful thing though. They say like your middle school kind of years is like the music you'll always kind of go back to. And I feel that. I definitely do. I listen to a lot of Fabulous.
I love
Fabulous is hard in the, you know, early 2000s. He's making the love songs, the bangers. Ja Rule for sure.
Yeah, Ashanti and Ja Rule was iconic. Crazy. Of course. There was a lot of different things. And
I listen to Britney. I gotta confess that too.
I still listen to Britney.
A lot of Britney.
Her self-titled was so good.
God,
it was so good. That's on my fucking essential playlist as well, is her self-titled. I remember getting that for Christmas one year, and I was obsessed with it. Because Britney is fire. And you know what? One of her songs, she got a beat from the fucking Neptunes. That was the other thing about this time frame, too, is the Neptunes were really coming to rise. So a lot of, like, my favorite shit that came out was the fucking Neptunes behind it. And so I feel like for us growing up in this era, that is going to be the sound that like led this generation, right? Is the sound of the Neptunes, which is going to be so crazy because you had that in prior generations, you know, like when Motown started.
Right.
Motown was such a fucking unique thing that was the sound of that generation, essentially, is Motown, you know? And I feel like for, you know, that 2000s wave of kids coming up and whatnot, the Neptunes is really going to be that like classifying type sound, that kind of like fucking, that whole area of the US was putting out that kind of sound. And I think that is really what resonates with us a lot. You know, there's a lot more to it. And obviously, like with the internet coming to rise too, it's like we had access to everything, you know. I was just thinking about this because I'm still obsessed with the cool kids, and I found them on MySpace. And I was just thinking about how I found them on MySpace by scrolling through, like you could browse through all the different genres. And like in middle school and junior high, those like years, you have all the time in the world to be just blowing off time, like fucking searching for things and shit, corrupting your computer by downloading things on LimeWire and FrostWire when LimeWire went down. Pirate Bay, once you got smart enough. Put a VPN blocker on your laptop and torrent everything. But I don't do any of that.
That never happened.
I am not an internet pirate at all. At all. Don't come for me. I snitch on myself all the time on this fucking podcast, and I need to stop. I need to stop, but...
It's like, Mom, I did this, that, and the other.
Well, she kind of already knows now a lot of the stuff that I did, like, so...
I used to sneak out this window to go get high.
Oh, she do.
Yeah, I swear your parents always know. Like, you
always
come in
know.
Smelling like loud. There's no way you don't just reak to the high heavens.
You ever ask your friend before you walk in, like, here, will you smell me really quick? Do I smell like weed?
Are my eyes red? Like, yeah.
What do you expect?
Are my eyes red? The couple of times I've been asked that, I was like, just crack up laughing. Like,
I remember
we have
when I
no chance right now.
I remember when I hit my tolerance to where my eyes started to not get red when I would get high.
Just gloss over?
Yeah, they would just kind of gloss over, and I was like, perfect. You can hardly notice. You could absolutely tell. There was no hiding the fact that I was high. But to me, it felt like I was hiding.
That's what counts. It's like, definitely very obvious every time I would eat multiple bowls of Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah.
At 10 o'clock at night.
Always. My parents thought I was dealing for a hot second, too, because I would be like, hey, I'm going to go pop over to the park really quick, because there was a park across the street from my house. And I was like, I'm going to go pop over there really quick, meet up with the homie. And we would literally go smoke a bowl or a cigarette. I was smoking cigarettes at the time, too. Whatever the fuck teenagers do, right? And my parents thought I was dealing because I would go out and then I would come back in, and then I would go out later and meet up with somebody else and then come back in. And I'm like, nah, dude, I just got hella friends in the neighborhood. And we're just linking up and smoking bowls and getting high. I'm not dealing nothing, Mom. I'm smoking this shit. Come on now. And now they eat their words because I'm fucking a professional in the cannabis industry. So suck it. Cannabis is the new future, man. Get on. The future is now, old man.
The future is now, old man.
I watched Malcolm in the Middle of Forever. Such a good one, though.
So it's been, 10 years? Like almost a decade now that it's been legal?
Yeah, because it passed in 2012, but dispensaries didn't open up until 2014.
So 8 with the dispensaries.
Yeah, but there were medical dispensaries before the recreational opened up.
Weed.
Yeah, I know. I got my medical card as soon as possible. And I remember shopping at the dispensary back in 2013, 2014. I been smoking Fire Bros since 2014. Shout out Fire Bros. I remember the fucking day that I walked into the dispensary and I saw this big ass jar with a wooden cap on top with their Fire Bros logo. And I was like, what the fuck is that? And they were like, it's this, that, and the other. And I was like, Well, give me some of that because that's what I'm smoking today. Literally been smoking their fucking weed ever since. All-time favorite farm. Fucking love, love, love Fire Bros. Cannot do wrong by them, honestly. Like, stellar shit. I buy their oil, I buy their flour, I buy it all. It's all good. Just saying.
It really is. It's fire, bro. So go check them
It
out.
is fire, bro. Go pick that shit up. This is their crepe ape. Actually, this beautiful lady back there is. I found a seed in one of the apes I bought of their crepe ape, and I planted it, and it's living its best life in my windowsill. So. Shout out fucking Fire Bros. I will continue smoking your weed until I no longer live in the area and cannot find it anymore. But at that point, you should be able to ship it to me, honestly. Like, that's really going to be convenient when we can actually ship shit and, like, import and export weed all over the place. But I don't know. I have my apprehensions about that.
The future
too.
is now, old man.
That's fucking right. The future is fucking now. And I'm ready for consumption lounges. I'm ready to be able to ship weed wherever the fuck I want to ship it. I'm ready to do whatever the fuck I want with weed, whenever the fuck I want with it.
My plant,
you
my
heard?
choice.
That's right. Not to bring down the fucking
No,
YouTube
I'm bringing attention to the
women's-
ladies.
That's right. My body, my choice, my plant, my fucking choice. Let me consume whatever I want into my body because it's my fucking choice. So let me do it. I'm gonna do it anyways, so whatever.
Do mushrooms while you're at it too.
Every day, all day.
Decriminalize those.
For real. It's
Right.
That's gonna be mental health care of the future is shrooms. I stand by it.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Yeah, I stand by it. We just need
unique properties, even if it's not psilocybin, like lion's mane, cordyceps, reiki.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. My buddy has a company called Arret Adaptogens, but he has a product line called Go Shroomy, and they're killing it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's just like the way he's educated about it, and
Yeah.
this game he puts me on, it's definitely something we need to tap into more.
100%. I'm all about it. It's honestly been so great as an energy booster as well as an appetite stimulant that I don't know what I was doing before I started microdosing. So, yeah, I'm all about it and highly recommend it to anybody. If you have any questions, just holler at me. I'll help you get started.
So, shout out to you for being a real one and pulling up to the show the other night. Thank you.
Yeah, it was a good show. Happy belated to Rank. I told him in person, but it was great.
Rankavelli.
Yeah. It was a great night. I had fun. I always love going to the Central. Honestly, it's one of those places in Seattle that is like iconic for shows and bars. Honestly, shout out to the bartenders at the Central because they always know what's up and take care of you. So tip them well because they do a great job at what they do. So yeah, I love going to the Central. It's great. And Pioneer Square is a lot better than it used to be right now. So
the city's coming back.
A little bit.
Slowly but surely.
It's just getting pushed into different neighborhoods, quite frankly. So, Pioneer Square used to be terrible. Ballard used to be clean. Ballard is fucking terrible. And now Pioneer Square's, I wouldn't say it's clean, but it's better.
Progress.
Yeah, progress. Yeah.
If you can call it that.
Yeah, you can't, but...
But yeah, shout out Karma too. Karma knows.
Yeah.
Karma goes crazy.
I love seeing Karma perform,
So
honestly. And especially like I wish that Nobi had been on stage with him too, because Karma and Nobi together too is bonkers. But yeah, Karma is fucking great. Always like seeing Karma perform, and I feel like it had been literal years since I had seen him perform. So it was good shit.
Yeah, we back outside. Nobi and Karma probably, I think they've been working on some new stuff too. It sounds crazy.
It would not surprise me at all if they were. I know. You have been working on some new stuff, though. So let's talk about your new stuff that you got cooking up. I think we might have even talked about something earlier this year.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Y'all should go rewatch that episode, or watch it if you haven't. Episode 9 of Blunt Talk. Go check it out. YouTube, all that jazz. It's everywhere. But yeah, I don't remember, honestly. You were in Nashville the last time we talked, so I don't know what you were working on the last time. But I know that you have an album coming out at the beginning of next year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, real excited. Got an album that we're working on. It's called Street Preacher. It's gonna drop early in 2023, so sometime in the first couple months. But yeah, it's got some town heads on it. We're really excited about that. Some Seattle heads, but I've been working on it for like a year and a half with Nima and Elon. I think I mentioned that last time. So just excited, to finally have a project that I feel like is actually in alignment with who I am as a human.
Yeah.
Like, instead of messing around trying to experiment with sounds and like make something that I think would sell to people or be commercially like appealing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just got a lot of like that fucking in me as you get older, and like you just don't give a shit. So like criticism, affirmation, it all kind of just washes over you. You have to find out who you are, and life has given me those lessons. Yeah. And that's ongoing, but yeah, I'm excited to, in the music I get to talk about finally like what makes me the way I think, and act. Yeah. And so that's really cool, because I know people have kind of like wanted to just, like, in general, I feel like hip hop craves like authenticity in the story, and like no matter what shape or form the subgenre of that hip hop comes. Yeah. So I don't know. We got some exciting things in store around it, like visuals wise, and so I'm hyped. Street Preacher, it's coming. That's I'd be always talking about some spiritual shit. So always. And people have their opinions about whatever with the religion, so I just think it's about connection with freaking God, and we talked about that last time. Like, whether it's through plants or like whatever it is, just have some grounding to you. 100%. Be in the present, love life. Yeah. So just my experience about trying to figure out who I am. Yeah. Which is weird.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest parts about spirituality too is the constant growth that is going on with it. And I feel like some people like really get stuck in like the bounds of like, if you look at like Christianity and like the bounds of like what's in the Bible, and they're like, I have to do everything by the Bible and I can't like do anything outside of that or whatever. Like, this is law, like this is how you live your life. And it's like, but how do you live your life and not grow beyond that throughout your life, right? Like, if you were taught this from the time that you were a child and can start remembering memories, you know what I mean? If you're taught it from then, like, how do you not get to a point in your life where you're like, I've found like most of the teachings from this book, or been taught most of the teachings from this book? How do you not look elsewhere for more development and like how you can make yourself better? Even if you don't align yourself with those things, like, how could you not just be curious enough to like look into other things, you know, whether it's religion or cultures or whatever? Like, to me, it's like crazy not to continue to grow. And I think that is really what a big part of that spirituality is. Because the more that I grow and the more that I discover and the more I discover about myself, the more I feel like in tune with myself, and the more I feel like comfortable and at ease, honestly. Like, even with everything going on in the world right now, like, I'm at a good place with myself, and like knowing what I'm doing and like what I feel like is meaningful in life, and following that path. And it's just like grounded me a lot and made me a lot less anxious, like, and a lot less like freaked out about things. And I make more logical decisions about things because of it, which is beautiful. And it's like, to me, it's baffling when people just bitch and moan and complain about things, but they don't do anything and apply that. Right. So I think there's sometimes where you need that street preacher to be out here telling people like, buck up and get better, and like,
I'm not always shit. Like, being so soft and cuddly with it. Like, sometimes it's piercing, but I hope that comes through in like my own accountability to like my shortcomings and lessons, and like how I failed people and messed things up in my life. And, That's why music is so cool. Like it's this tool, you know, it's spiritual in itself. Like it has, you know, everything about it is spiritual. It's an expression of people's consciousness, and
Right.
art being something that helps us like shape our world. Like that's what inspired me, is like the great, you know, musicians, all this music that we talked about, but like the way that they share their perspective of the world just influences you and shapes you, and whether it's negative or positive, like it's still just like just such a cool thing, and
Yeah.
it causes growth, you know, hopefully.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what the response is like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm thinking like for myself, like it's just at the end of the day, living life with no regrets, and like if you feel something in your gut, follow through on it. If it's putting out a music album or
Yeah.
whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So I freaking see.
We'll frickin' see. Almost sounded like fricassee.
Not a lot of fricassee on there.
But you know, I really look for music that makes me feel something. It doesn't matter what that something is, whether it makes me feel like energized, whether it makes me feel just happy, euphoric, whether it just makes me feel sad, honestly.
Yeah.
God, talk about country. Like, I lived in fucking Monroe and went to high school in Monroe, dog. I listened to country, okay? Talk about
sad.
Fucking country songs can get sad. You gotta avoid those and stick to the happy country.
Facts.
Unless you want to think about suicide, and nobody wants that.
You'll end up in a weird place.
For real.
End up with a bottle out. You don't know how it
You want
happened.
to talk about the most heart-wrenching, like, deep fucking songs, man. Country will get you. It's crazy. Yeah, I do fuck with some country. So, you know, a lot of people are like hard no. And it's funny, we joke about it.
A lot of people are hard no with the country.
I know.
What is up with that?
It's so crazy.
It's just music, man.
Right. It's so crazy, but it's so funny too, because like at work, we're like literally we'll listen to anything, but we draw the line at country.
People are like, you can just, I don't do country, I don't do heavy metal.
But we really kind of boiled it down, honestly, because we'll listen to a lot of blues, we'll listen to like a lot of like outlaw type country sometimes, and you know, like if Johnny Cash comes up, we're not skipping that. And so there's like what we really boiled it down to is just that crossover pop country type shit that is just very frat house, very you know, I don't know.
Save a horse, ride a cowboy.
Ride a cowboy. Hey, there was some great humorous fucking country in that era of country. So
what's your take on that type of music? Like,
I mean,
Weird Al Yankovic Lane, Lil Dicky style.
Okay, so Roku just put out the Weird Al fucking movie with Daniel Radcliffe playing Weird Al, and I fell asleep the other night watching it, but I'm gonna finish watching it, but it was actually pretty fucking funny. Weird Al is hysterical, and I think it's genius, some of the plays that he's done and some of the flips that he's done. Is it on my playlist and what I listen to? No, but I fuck with it because it's definitely like an art form and people like it a lot. And parody is genius in general. I watch a lot of like parody movies, and like I love like fucking improv and all of that type of shit. So I fuck with it, but like, I don't know. Some of the country ones that live in that lane, you know, like I think it's Toby Keith's Red Solo Cup. Like that song, I mean, was just fucking ridiculous. It's about a fucking solo cup. Like, I fill you up. Like, let's have a party. It's like, if you really want to feel what being an American is like, listen to that song on the 4th of July around a family in the suburbs. And you're in their backyard, and they have a fire pit. The barbecue is going.
America.
Dad's wearing fucking white, like New Balance shoes and cargo shorts.
What are they eating at this barbecue?
They're eating hamburgers and hot dogs because
Damn
that's what
right.
you eat with
It
some baked beans and some watermelon on the table because it's 4th of July in America. It is so like that is what that kind of like funny pop country kind of music is, honestly. Like living in Monroe, there was a lot of people, like people would ride their tractors to work or to school. I mean, some days, I was obviously like a senior prank sometimes and whatnot. But I mean, like literally, like the buses would be all backed up and shit because there's a fucking line of tractors just mobbing up the hill to the fucking schools and shit. And it's like, that's the kind of vibe that they were about. That I mean, it was fun. I went mudding all the time out there too.
Mudding all the time, she says.
Yeah, you would go out to the middle of nowhere. Shout out Reeder Road out there in the boonies towards like Gold Bar.
Probably cow tipping. You know what I'm saying?
Have been, but you don't get very far. I've only been once, and you literally run up and you try and push it over, and it doesn't budge at all, and then it starts to moo and gets kind of angry at you, and then you gotta book it before anything else goes wrong. But for the most part, they just fucking stand there and they're like, what are you trying to do? Like, you're not gonna win. Like, hello, I was like fucking 15 and like weighed 110 pounds. What the fuck am I gonna do to a goddamn cow?
That's real beef.
Yeah, I did chase alpacas.
How dare you? Alpacas are the homies.
I love alpacas.
I freaking love alpacas.
Yeah.
Man. They are just different. Their personalities are funny.
Yeah, I fuck with it. So, there's a part of me that really cherishes that time that I got to spend out in, it's only 45 minutes outside of Seattle, quite honestly, but when you drive out there, it's like a whole new world. When you go out there,
it is.
You cut it off right there. But
I can't.
Okay, we are not going to redo the entirety of Aladdin tonight. I'm sorry, y'all, that I told you that was what was happening tonight. I guess we are not doing that tonight. So maybe next week I can try that again.
I don't know, like, how all those musicals... Now I can't sit through a musical as much as I love music.
Really?
It's like, it's difficult. For some reason, I just, like, unless it's really good.
I love
like,
theater.
I could watch an old one, like,
yeah.
Grease or something like...
I do love Grease.
Like, I love Grease.
Chicago's great.
It just has to be, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But looking back at all those movies, like, when Disney Plus came out, just, like, watching all those.
Well, Spicy Blunt is fighting back now.
It's fighting back.
Yeah, that cherry's hitting.
Earlier said, I like when the blunt puts you out before you
yeah.
This is one of those.
This is like the time where I put it back, is when I start to inhale and I can feel the cherry on my lips. That's when I'm like, okay, nope, put it out. I'm done with that shit. Like, I'll roll up a whole new blunt before I continue smoking a blunt where I can fucking feel the cherry burn in my lips. Negatory. Not what I want anymore. And I realize that wastes weed, but you know what? You gotta waste it to taste it. I learned that from dabbing, and it is definitely the way to go. So I'm about it.
I've never heard that before, and I'm gonna steal it.
Yeah, so when you dab at a low temperature, it doesn't burn all the oil and there you have residue, and so you waste a little bit of it, and you just take a Q-tip and wipe that up, and you're done. But if you burn it all, then you're burning it at too hot of a temperature, and so you're like completely like zapping out everything, and it's just burnt.
Yep.
You don't want to burn your food, right? You don't want to burn your dabs either. It's just simple facts here. You need to treat the oil with a little bit of respect. That's why it's cold starts all day long.
You gotta waste it
PSA.
to taste it.
That's right.
Yeah, I agree. Low temp dabs are way better. I don't be dabbing anymore.
Way better.
Get way too high.
Yeah, I dab too much.
I try to keep it chill. Hit the pen from time to time.
Yeah, the bee's knees that I left in the back of your car. I buy a fucking cartridge for Capitol Hill Block Party. I take it with me day one. This fool drops me off afterwards, and I leave it in his fucking car. Goodbye, pen. Literally.
Smoked.
Done for the rest of the weekend. No more fun, Taylor. Just had to fucking go around with no fucking pen. That's a lie. I had a backup, but...
It's a real stoner, but don't leave your weed or your oil in your stoner friends' cars. You won't see it again.
You won't. It won't happen.
I offered an extra cartridge, though. I did. I promise.
That's okay. I got plenty on deck.
I tried.
It was the bee's knees, though, which was a little disheartening, because it was the bee's knees.
It was actually, yeah, it It was primo. His words cannot describe. It was
Yeah.
primo. Okay, so how are we feeling about these strains?
Huckleberry Pie was the winner for me.
Okay.
The Tropic Soda was nice. It just didn't smoke nearly as well as the Huckleberry, honestly. Like, the Huckleberry was drier than the Tropic. Like, when I was breaking it down, I liked the feeling of the Tropic Soda, like feeling-wise. And it was also really sticky and completely coated my fingers. And it was like I was pressing hash while I was rolling it. But then the Huckleberry Pie came through on the smoke, and it did not smoke. Like, it broke down. It broke down like a dry fucking piece of dust. And it did roll up nicely, though. It stuck together pretty easily. I had an easier time rolling up the Huckleberry than I did the Tropic Soda, because the Tropic Soda just kind of fell apart all over the place.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that Huckleberry. I wish I had more of it, because I would definitely roll some up and smoke it again. Kind of wish I would have bought a quarter of that instead of this fucking Tropic Soda. That was kind of like club soda.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Like, if it's there, I'll drink it.
What strain? I called a certain strain like the club soda of weed, and I don't remember which strain it was anymore. But it's really good when you mix it, and it's not good on its own. I don't know. Check my Twitter, because I tweeted at one point what I thought the perfect club soda weed was, and I don't remember it now. So check my Twitter. I'm pretty funny on Twitter, so go read them.
Pretty funny.
I might.
I think the Huckleberry Pie is definitely the winner for me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely smoked better. Nicer taste. We did say, like, sometimes a drier weed will, it'll smoke a little bit better. But, I'll give...
Shout out Sweetwater here.
Sweetwater.
Yeah. Huckleberry Pie here.
Excellent.
I love the way that they break down terps and what it's all about, what you should use this for, and all that. Effects, mellow, euphoric, berry, sweet, earth flavors, It's good shit.
It's good shit. Tropic Soda, I give it the glass appeal or the bag appeal award for sure.
Yeah, it was a pretty looking eighth. And that's the problem with not being able to smell your weed before you buy it, because you buy it off of looks and then you get sadly disappointed. This was harvested in August, though, and it is November 5th, and this says harvest date 8/24. So it's creeping up on the last of its legs, but. This was also the last eighth of this in the store, so I should have fucking known better. You'd think I had been a bud tender before. You'd think I still bud tend.
Sometimes.
Sometimes you just take a chance and then you fail quite a bit. But that's how you learn, and that's how you grow, and that's how you keep on trucking, and you get better. So.
See, you street preacher right now.
Yeah, I'm sure that you failed and learned from it and kept going.
Oh yeah, I mean the thing is, you
I thought you were gonna say no.
Yep.
No.
Never fail. Just actually been spotless. It's clean.
Life is great.
Yeah, it's just dandy. Just everything goes right all the time. Not
lies.
Yeah, it's a big joke. I fall flat on my face.
Black.
Yeah,
not.
Oh man.
Good shit. I watched Pink Panther last night, and I think
what inspired that?
A conversation I had at work where we were talking about the Pink Panther and some of the stupidest jokes that were told, and just this slapstick kind of comedic approach to it. And I was like, damn, I really haven't watched that movie in a long time. And so I watched it last night, and I was literally laughing out loud multiple times. And I was like, Steve Martin is just so funny to me.
He is so good.
And so I've just really had that on the brain the past 24 hours. So I guess I'm kind of in that slapstick, this is really stupid but could be funny kind of a mode. I'm working on my stand-up. I've been working on it for a long time. One day I'll do it, and I'll use it in my bit, how long it took me to get into stand-up. Because no amateur comedian ever uses that in their bit, about how nervous they were to start stand-up comedy and how long it took them. Totally original.
Nah, never heard that one before.
No. I'm gonna make a parody of a parody of a parody of me making a parody of a comedy.
That's basically what TikTok is.
Yeah, it is. Fuck TikTok, dude. Fuck TikTok. Oh, I hate it so much.
Hey, yo, to all my brand partnerships and deals, we love you. We love TikTok. You guys are great.
But real talk, though. I mean, we can be real about the evils of social media and how it is. Because, I mean, at one hand, like, it is honestly entertaining and fun, these social media sites and shit like that. But on the other hand, it is work. It is partnerships. It is, brands making deals with people. And it's like, it's actually like a strategy and a scheme and an algorithm and all of this shit. And so it takes the fucking all the fun out of the entertainment factor of it. And so it's like, it is a kind of a love-hate relationship. And so it's honestly, TikTok is like where I should live because I'm obsessed with music and like quirky videos and shit like that. Great at it. Love that kind of concept. Do I want to be on TikTok? No. Not at all. But go follow Respect My Region because our TikTok is popping. But me personally, nah, I'm not going to be on there. I'm sorry. Like, I TikTok in real life. Is that a thing?
That's a bar right there. If I ever heard one, that sounds like something I would say.
Yo, people pick up bars off of me all the time. I'm gonna need y'all to start quoting me in your lyrics. Like, I need citations.
I want those writing credits.
For real, though. And y'all know who you are. I've been around people plenty of times where I said something and then months later a song comes out and I hear those exact fucking words in the song. So start crediting me, damn it. I am your ghostwriter for your fucking favorite rapper.
Wow.
It is the truth.
Wow.
It is the truth.
Hot take.
I wish. I'm such a good writer that I think that I would make the most fucking fire shit. But say love me. I'll just continue to write articles that nobody reads.
Oh, don't play yourself. We know plenty of people read them. Great articles.
Glance through them.
Skim read like we all do. Can't help ourselves. It's not true.
See?
It's not true. It's a joke.
Yeah.
I think, going back to what you said, I think TikTok is one of those things where it's like water, where it's like we need it to live, but it can be the most painful way to die. So, like, the weird way that things exist like that. And it's like working with kids that have really big followings and do these brand deals and stuff. Like, it gives them this lifestyle freedom that's really unique and cool. And I think they get to see and live in like a different world. But it's like a wild, wild west right now.
Yeah.
Because like there's all this money. Corporations are just throwing at this stuff because they don't really understand it.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of opportunity there, but then there's like no structure, right? So like, we have plenty of clients that are 20 years old, maybe. And 19 years old, and they're like, those are their college years, but they're
even younger than that too. Right. Honestly, nowadays, you have like 13
there's
year
15
olds.
and 16 year olds that have massive followings that we work with, and like the trying to mature and grow them about how to do business and how this industry works. And it's just crazy because if they're supposed to be in college at that time, but you're making $25,000 a month,
right? How
are you supposed to justify going to school? And then, but then where's your development? Like, how are you? You know what I mean? You're getting put in opportunities and rooms and having all these things really young. And so it's crazy in that regard. And then there's like, I was coaching basketball a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And the kids were on TikTok and getting exposed to stuff that I didn't see when I was 9, 10, 11 years old.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's wild in itself. You know what I mean? But it's also like they see stuff that has them forward thinking and progressive, and they're way beyond their years in that regard. And now the relationship I have with them at 13, 14, and they ask questions and they're very insightful, and it's just weird. So it's like it's just part of evolution and like watching it unfold. But I wish there were ways where we could kind of protect some of the material and stuff that they get exposed to, because that's really young.
Youth that's what this next generation is they're the desensitized youth. They're the ones that are adults. Like, there was people in previous generations, obviously, that grew up really fast, but the newest generation grows up really fast because they have all of the technology in front of them and everything. And so they're very young and understanding things and being exposed to things at a very young age and learning about like what life is really about. And you don't usually hit that until like your 20s or your 30s, where the weight and reality of life and being an adult and having responsibilities like comes crushing down on you, right? And like that's just a rite of passage for everybody in their 20s to 30s, right? To go through that and become an adult, right? People are going through that in their teens and their early 20s and hitting that now. And so it's kind of wild. But at the same time, like you were saying, that desensitized youth is also the ones that are young enough to not have the barriers on their thought process and are able to take in this information through TikTok and Instagram and all these different platforms, but then be able to be that forward thinking person to be like, well, why don't we do this? And so that's why you're seeing all these little kids being activists and like making strides in how we can be resourceful and sustainable and how we can continue to live with the earth and whatnot. And you're also seeing them being incredibly rebellious because they're pissed off that a lot of the things that we got to do when we were kids and like the generation before us really got to do, it was just be a carefree adolescent, you know, and they don't get to be that because the world's on fire, because our resources are slim, because pandemics are happening, because shitheads are in the office and they're making things horrendous for people, because things like abortion and women's rights are being rolled back. You know, we're literally rolling back time right now, and it's ridiculous, and the kids understand it and they know it, and that's why it's so apathetic. That's why all these kids are depressed, and that's why everybody is like super fucked up in the head, is because this is happening. So you know, we're at a crazy time.
It is crazy. I wouldn't want to be a kid right now.
No, not in the slightest bit.
I don't like being an adult.
For real. On that note, we are at the end of the fucking hour already. So what a heavy moment to leave off on. But honestly, it's on my mind every day, and it's the kind of thing that I just kind of go to bed thinking about constantly. And that's the kind of world that we live in right now. And so any chance that we get to have, you know, more lighthearted discussions like this and just be able to connect with people and just smoke a fucking fat blunt and to just relax for a few and bullshit and be able to laugh at some of these things and like make light of everything that like brings you down every other day, you know, it's essential to have that balance. So it's always nice to be able to fucking talk to people and, you know, be able to vent about things or like connect on certain things and discuss things and get a different perspective on something too, which is always nice. So, you know, and appreciate everybody for watching as well and tuning in, because that's also, you know, I live stream these and I never interact with the audience ever. But I always appreciate them watching and really wish I could be better about cutting out clips. And I will try my hardest to do that, especially for this episode, for prior episodes that I've done. Hopefully I can get my act together for the end of the year and wrap everything up and have more shit for y'all to see next year. So anyways, any last minutes? You literally have like a minute, sorry. Any last minute things that you want to say?
No, album coming out early 2023, Street Preacher. We need each other. We need each other as humans. That's real. Ups and downs, you know, whatever it may be. So the venting part, the being there for each other, the loving each other with actions is real. You know, when we talk about all that stuff, like, we really mean it, but we want to live it. You know, it's cool to talk about something, and it's great that we can have these conversations. But
for sure.
I appreciate the laughs. You're killing it. You always downplay yourself, but had a hell of a time.
What can I say? I'm a writer. It's what we do. Anyways, I appreciate y'all for watching. Um, we're gonna end this off here on just a happier note. Go check out Sweetwater's Huckleberry Pie if you can find it on the shelf, because it was banging and we both liked it. So I will be back hopefully next week. I believe Ralphie Davis is going to be on next week. I just need to follow back up with him and confirm. But it'll be dope regardless. And I'm working on some year-end roundup stuff. So keep it tuned and go follow Respect My Region for more podcasts and shit. So